From Henry Cavill quitting on the series and walking out, to the writers lying and snubbing the fans, here's why The Witcher's fans are demanding the writers be fired. What could be seen as the beginning of the end for the show started in the fall of 2022.
We're safe now, thanks to you. That's all that matters.
When Henry and his team announced out of the blue that he was leaving the show. His announcement was pretty vague, wishing the production the best of luck as they carry on, and congratulating a certain Hemsworth brother on replacing him from season 4. I hate to disappoint you guys, but it ain't Chris. It's actually Liam Hemsworth, who's been deemed worthy of Geralt's silver and steel swords. The fans weren't happy about this news at all, but it was just the cherry on top of a series of disasters that had ruined the show forever in their eyes. For a lot of people, Cavill's perfect portrayal of Geralt of Rivia was the only reason they were even watching, which is why they started a petition to make him come back. That petition, posted on change.org, demanded Netflix negotiate Henry's return to the show, no matter what it takes. And it even encouraged fans to boycott the show if Netflix didn't give in. You can tell that people were really on board with the petition, because in the 6 months since it was created, it's gathered over 300,000 signatures. Of course, like most petitions on change.org, no one thought it was going to accomplish anything, but that boycott of The Witcher could still happen. And all things considered, it does show just how many people have taken up arms against Netflix. Even at this point, fans haven't forgotten about Henry, and they're protesting louder than ever with the release of the new trailer for season 3. After everything the series has been through, all eyes are on the incoming season, as everyone's waiting to find out how Henry's final season will play out, and whether or not he might regret leaving. The new trailer for the show dropped recently, and it's racked up 5 times as many dislikes as likes. Now, there's nothing wrong with the trailer itself, because all it does is show off some of the action and the drama that fans can expect from the upcoming season. This is also meant to be a landmark season of the show, because it's going to introduce us to the Wild Hunt, the scary villains who were teased at the end of season 2. Scroll on down to the comments section though, and you'll see that no one really cares that the main trio of the show is together now, or that the Wild Hunt is on the move and out for blood. Everyone who happened to drop by clicked that dislike button before commenting their support for Henry Cavill and actors like him, or expressing their hatred of Netflix for firing him in the first place. So what does this mean for the future of the show? It's hard to imagine it can survive this amount of controversy. Season 3 of The Witcher was in production for some time, and once it recovered from the pandemic, it was bound to make it to the finish line. At the end of the day though, this is just a nerdy fantasy show based on a series of Polish novels that aren't as popular as something like A Song of Ice and Fire. While Netflix could count on eventually attracting casuals to the show, it really needed Witcher fans to keep it going. And the fans fulfilled their end of the deal, making it among the most watched pieces of content on the platform. Unfortunately, the production of the show can't keep messing with the fans like this for long, and still count on that support.
When a Witcher cracks his skull, all we need to do is stick him in a cot and fill him with Veritum, Spurge, and Hawthorne. Chances are, he'll survive.
The recast of Geralt has been rejected by literally everyone who watches the show, and the way things are looking, Liam may never get to set foot on the set of The Witcher. So far, I've been recapping the Henry Cavill debacle, but that was just the last straw. The truth is, the biggest fans of The Witcher had been turning on the series before we even got to this point, because the show has had problems all along. Where should I even begin? I'll start at the very heart of the story. Geralt and Ciri, whose relationship has been simplified from the books, which makes their storyline worse. They've done the same thing to Geralt's really complicated relationship with Yennefer, turning it into a pretty typical love story that keeps getting sidetracked by the things happening around them. Simplification is pretty much the name of the game, as the show is too afraid to embrace the gray areas in the show's morality. So characters end up just being good or evil with barely any room in between. While Geralt, Ciri, and Yennefer are complex characters, the villains they face are the complete opposite, which makes the conflicts between them boring. There's also the show's world building, which leaves out a lot of the details and quirks of The Witcher's universe. Again, all to make the show more simple and approachable. Finally, Geralt himself has been streamlined. He's supposed to be as deadly with his words as he is with his swords. And in the books, he gets into pretty nerdy debates, showing off the fact that he's learned a lot in his travels. But the show turns him into a quiet brute with a heart of gold, which is such a cliché. All these changes have ticked off the fans, and Netflix probably wishes someone would have warned them that this would happen. Oh wait, Henry Cavill was warning the showrunners about these changes the whole time. When Cavill was cast as the show's leading man, The Witcher's fan base was super excited. Not only is he a genuinely talented actor, he's also a huge nerd. And even better for the show, he's a Witcher nerd. The guy's eaten up the books and the games like he needs them for those sick gains, and it was clear all along that he was going into the project with a lot of passion. Heck, before the show was even green-lit, Cavill and his agents kept badgering showrunner Lauren Hissrich to cast him as Geralt, to the point that she was annoyed by his enthusiasm. You can see why fans are so desperate to have him back. But the show I've described so far doesn't look like there's such a passionate force working behind the scenes, does it? Even though Cavill's talked about how he constantly quotes the books and how he's tried to guide the directors on set on how to stay accurate, he's been ignored and forced to follow the script as written. At the end of the day, he's not the one in charge of the scripts or the story, and the people in charge have a pretty low opinion of the source material, allegedly. Late last year, there were revelations from the writer's room of The Witcher that shocked the internet. These revelations came from Beau DeMayo, a veteran writer who worked on a few of the scripts for the series. Working with the show's A-team, he found that many of them didn't even like the source material they were adapting, and they went so far as to mock the books and games they were adapting. DeMayo was so affected by this experience that when he got the job to write episodes for Marvel's revival of X-Men '97, he made sure to only bring on board people who actually loved the cartoon back in the day. Lauren denied the accusations, but even when she defended the show, she could only talk about her own passion for the books, and all she said about the writer's room was that they're safe and supportive spaces. Was Beau really telling the truth? If he was, it explains all the changes that the writers have made to The Witcher. Looking at all the stuff they've changed, they seem to think that the books are too dark, and that author Andrzej Sapkowski needs to lighten up a bit, or maybe they're just making the show that can bring Netflix the most viewers possible. Whatever they were trying, it hasn't been working, and you know what doesn't help? The fact that the team has lied to the fans. Whatever the writers say about the source material behind the scenes, in public, they've always said they respect the books. Fans have complained about the show ignoring Sapkowski's story every season, and the response they've always gotten from Lauren and the gang is that they should keep watching, and they'll eventually get what they want. Well, the show's been on for 2 seasons now, and it hasn't happened yet. I'd say that they're running out of goodwill to burn, but the fact is that the goodwill is already gone. It'll really take a miracle to keep the lights on at this show. So, from the production of the show lying to the fans, to Henry Cavill throwing in the towel and leaving, that's why The Witcher's fans are demanding the writers be fired.